last two. Securing that. They're really fun to make. Okay, so I'm just going to look around and see. There's a little piece there. I might just, go around with the glue gun and give it a little dab, hold it down a second or two, just to help secure it. So the most part, you have your rounded center. Again, you can make it any size you want. If you'd like to make a 4 or 5 inch size, go to the dollar store, buy the double pack for $1 and make it. You just have to get your outer pieces sized bigger than this so that you have enough to cut the tab. If you want larger ones, like I like the 6 and 7, 8 inch ones, go to Lowe's and buy that sheet of styrofoam and get yourself a styrofoam tool. I'm sure you can find those on Amazon, and cut out your own styrofoam disc. It's way more economical, and you have more control. Alright, so if I wanted to say this was done just as it is, I absolutely could use that as a center. No problem. But, you know me, I like to do things different. I like things that are unique and not what everybody else has. Okay? So what we're going to do is put a design on there. Now, this one I have looks just like a sunflower, but you could make it as a flag. You could just make it as a dot. You could do a swirl. You could do a crosshatch, whatever you're interested in doing. I'm going to show you how to do the sunflower one. And what you need is your magic marker and another circle. I think this is a 3 inch, it might be a 4 inch one. You know, again, you can choose whatever you like. That might be a 2 inch. You could have, you know, a 5 inch one, whatever you like. You're just going to put it in the center, take your magic marker, and draw around that. And all that's doing is giving you a guide to follow. Okay? So there we have our flower center. I've drawn that line. I'm going to actually give it another line. I'm taking one size down. Do you need to do that? Not really. But you could give yourself another line. And what that's going to do is to show you where to trim. Okay? And I'll show you what I mean. So here is our men's razor. I don't have any of the clips on it, it's just the razor itself, and it pretty much is just one speed. You're just going to turn it on, flip it over so that the head is pointing down, and literally just start working it into that outdoor carpeting, like you're shaving. And I'm pressing down a little bit. And I'll go over that spot several times because I want that to shave down so that there's some depth. I'm going to go from the outer ring, the outer black ring, to the inner black ring. And does it need to be perfect? Absolutely not. Nothing in nature is perfect. Okay? I'm just doing it the best that I can to have about the same width so that I end up with a circle in the center. I'm doing it several times in the same spot so that I can get down and have some depth. And I might even go over it again after I get all the way around it. Just turning it as I go, pushing down and pulling back towards me, sort of like raking against that indoor-outdoor carpet. I'm sculpting the carpet, is what I'm doing. Instead of doing it with a set of shears, like they normally do, I'm doing it with a man's mustache trimmer or sideburn trimmer. So it looks, you can start to see some depth. I'm going to go back over it and clean it up a little bit. And give it a little bit more depth. So pushing down into there, into that fiber. I might even come along that edge, turn it right side up, and just shave that little excess that came up when we were pulling back, just to clean it up a little bit. Now, can you make this wider? Yep. Can you make it deeper? Yep. Whatever you like. That's your artistic license to do what you like, what you want it to do. And there we have it. I just sculpted my sunflower center, wreath center, okay? So we can see there's a little bit of depth there, which is cool. That's what I like about it. If I wanted a spiral instead, literally, I just took the pen, drew the spiral with the black Sharpie, and then started sculpting around that line until I came up with a spiral. Or I just did sort of like a tic-tac-toe and then sculpted on those lines and went pretty far down in so that there's some depth to it. Same thing with the thing for the flag. I just took a little corner out where I thought it would be blue, went across and made lines so that there were stripes for the flag. So really, anything you can imagine, you can come up with. If you wanted to sculpt in eyes and a mouth and make a smiley face, could you do that? Absolutely. Anything you can visualize, you can do. You just make yourself a little pattern. And I would imagine you could also use a template like a stencil if you wanted something special, like an actual star. You could lay your stencil in there and trace it or outline it with your Sharpie and then cut around it. So your imagination is the limit. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put the back on so that I have something to hold on to when I'm painting it. And what I have here is a little extra piece of felt and a pipe cleaner, and I generally will fold that pipe cleaner in half just to get the center. And I'm going to place that piece of felt over the pipe cleaner with a dab of glue and glue that down. Now I'll generally do one side, push it down, flip up the other side and give it some glue. Just enough to hold it there. Let it dry, and then this is my felt center, literally just cut off a piece from the yard of felt that I bought from Joann's Fabrics. When it's on sale, you can have any color. You know, I could have used yellow or green, whatever. I tend to match it as close to as I can to whatever color the wreath is. And I put down my weighted center, drew around it with a Sharpie, cut it out. And then what I tend to do is fold it in half and fold it in half, and then take the scissors and cut so that I have a tab that comes up in the center. And what I do with that is that allows it to go over that pipe cleaner. And you're not going to see any of this, it's on the back side. So what I'll do then is literally glue it down all the way out to the edge on that flower center we just made. I'm just adding some glue all the way around. And then what I typically do is I'll come in the center, lift up that little pouch and put a little dab there, because we'll just give it an extra bit of strength, because once we put it on the wreath, we're pulling against that. So it's a little big. I'll just take my scissors and trim it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, because that's the back side. You're not going to see it. It's going to be against your wreath. Alrighty. And there, we've just covered our back and added our way to attach it to our wreath. Now for now, I'm just going to twirl those around a little bit. And get ready to paint. I just have a styrofoam plate with a little bit of my paint. Americana. Do you have to have Americana? Nope. You can use any brand of paint you like. This just happens to be what I have. It's black, and I have Americana yellow, Candom yellow for my sunflower. And I'm just going to hang on to that little tab that I have there for the wreath back, and literally take my stipple brush, dab it in the paint, and then dab it off to the side a few times to build the paint up in the brush, and literally just start brushing or stippling that paint onto my flower center. And I'm pushing pretty hard to get down in those fibers. Okay, and you're going to do that the whole way around, even on the sides. And then you could either clean your stipple brush, or if you have another brush, and this one happens to be flat, and it's fine, it'll work. I'm just going to take that and paint the center. And I'm just going to follow along the pattern that's already there. We've sculpted around it, so it's let that raised piece in the center, and it makes a perfect sunflower really easily. I'm just going to come all the way out to the edge of that and then I normally will dry it with my craft hair dryer. Once I have it all painted, then I'll blow dry it dry, and then from there I'll take it outside and I'll use my clear spray over top. And when you're finished, that's what it looks like. So you have a completed center. And if this were my flower, my wreath that I made on my wreath board, I literally just would find 2 holes, one on either side, across from each other, in my wreath, and put that down through, pull it onto the back, crisscross it, and give it a dab of glue, and then cover that whole back with my felt. And you can see that on the other videos that I made for the sculpted petals. So there it is, our flower center, made from indoor-outdoor carpeting from Lowe's, and hand sculpted with a mustache trimmer, a men's mustache trimmer, and then painted and sprayed. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I have lots more things coming in the future. Some really surprising things. And hope you'll come back for the next video. Thanks for watching.